Good morning. I guess this is how you tell the temperature before mercury thermometers, right? There's the frozen solid in the 20s, and there's the a little bit of ice on top, now in the 30s. Our neighbor had me worked up yesterday. He cut down this tree, and there's a lot of sawing and a lot of concern about which tree he was going for next, and he's definitely taking down one other little tree over here. He started to saw it and then stopped. I don't know. We're still having some trouble with runoff coming through the yard. And part of it may have to do with that big brush pile over there. Anyway, I got worried he was going to come along the property line and take more trees down. I pray that's not the case. And we'll just leave it there. Nothing I can really do about it. But it was very upsetting while I was working on my Legos, instead of being, you know, relaxing and calm and all that good stuff. I was worried about what he was doing and listening to the noise. It may be the tree he took down really needed to come down. I don't know. He was lucky he got it to go between the fence and the shed. Looked like it was pretty close, if you ask me. Hey, bud. You ready to come out? You can. Good morning, Panther. Hey, bud. Bet you're glad it's not quite as cold as it was. Yep, I bet you're glad. Sorry there's no chicken this morning, but I'll get one cooked later today. That's Marty. I think I heard Stripe over there in the woods. I don't see him, but I think I heard him. Marty wouldn't be down here by himself. He likes to follow the others. So it's not too bad out here. Not a lot of sun today, though. Not going to see a lot of sun until maybe next week. Panther's heating pad's still on. I am taking off from my normal Tuesday activities today. Yeah, I see Stripe now. I knew I heard him. I guess I was a little more asleep at midnight than I thought, because I finished yesterday's video and I thought I sent it, but I didn't send it. I was wondering. I didn't hit the last button. I do that, I don't know, once a month and come back and I'm like, what is going on? Anyway, there was important stuff happening with the Tesla API and third-party apps that use the Tesla API, which for us means TeslaFi. This came out at 10:56 last night. I start talking and he starts yawning. That just makes me feel so good. God, I really am just teasing with him, and he's just here all snuggly warm and wanting to go to sleep and not go on the walk. Right, but that ain't happening. So anyway, if you use TeslaFi, you need to do something. And that something is log into TeslaFi and allow it to use the new Tesla API approved method for third parties to access the vehicle data. It was getting hung up last night because too many people were trying to do it at once. Don said, all those techie Tesla people, saw the email immediately or in there,
well,
you know.
If you have a Tesla, that your one striker gets you your techie.
Right.
You have TeslaFi on it, you're addicted to tech.
To data, yeah. So you need to take action, and you need to do it sooner than later. And I realize by the time this one gets out there, you'll have lost a day's worth of data, but it won't be a month or a week or whatever's worth of data. So you need to, it's legit, and you need to follow those instructions. Yeah, but I put up the screenshot in the beginning of the video that'll be out there in a couple of hours, and that might be enough to trigger some people that, hey, I use TeslaFi, I need to go do this. So, I regret now not filming the screens when I was trying to get it to work. I had to do it for each car.
Yeah, you had to do it twice.
And you haven't done it correctly until the little prompt to go do it in the upper left-hand corner of the TeslaFi screen goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a funny worded thing about the car key or something that I tried to do for Ruby, and of course Ruby doesn't have a phone key, so it told me I couldn't, but I was able to do it for Jules. It had to do with controlling the car from TeslaFi, like unlocking it or stuff. They want you to go through some new, it wants to make, basically it made TeslaFi a phone key, is what it did for Jules. It works like it's a authorized phone, but it's really the app, but that was my interpretation of it. And of course Ruby doesn't have phone keys. It said it's going to go away, but hopefully it's only going to go the TeslaFi old method. Hopefully it only goes away for cars that support phone keys and not for Ruby. We don't usually use Ruby to control the car, but we do need to sometimes change the charging level or whatever. So anyway, if you use TeslaFi, go look at your email or go log into TeslaFi, upper left corner, follow the prompt for the API stuff. So we were watching Dr. Ken Berry last night, Monday Night Live. We often have it on in the background while we're doing other stuff. At this point, mostly what he would say on Monday Night Live, we could probably get on there and say it for him. But we enjoyed listening to him and Nisha.
Right, the banter. Right.
Yeah. So his Twitter account was hacked yesterday. Now this is... People say their Facebook account gets hacked, and that's not what happens. What happens is somebody creates a clone account.
Right.
And people don't understand the difference between cloned and hacked. And I guess it really doesn't matter if somebody's pretending to be you on Facebook or wherever.
The people it needs to fool.
Right. It gets people to... Rule of thumb on Facebook is if you get a friend request, go look and see if you're already friends with that person. And if you're already friends with them, then the friend request is a cloned account and don't accept it. I pretty much, yeah, you got to do some research. It's not safe to just accept them. But anyway, Dr. Berry and apparently other people got legitimately hacked on Twitter yesterday, where someone really got their password and really logged in and started making changes on their account. And I'll let Dawn... they were using two-factor authentication, and it wasn't good enough because somebody had their phone number.
Right. One of the forms are the more common way people use two-factor authentication, which is something you should use, is they use a text message to their phone, and truthfully speaking, that's not secure. You should use an authenticator app on your phone. And that's much more secure for two-factor authentication. So in the case of if you have the phone number as your two-factor, if they steal your SIM card number, which is electronic, remember you have electronic SIMs now. Anyway, I don't want all the gory details, but the bottom line, they stole the phone number, so the text message went to the crook's phone number. So they did a password reset. The password reset was text to them. The password reset, you log in to reset your password, then it says, okay, well, we're going to text your phone number to make sure it's really you. And of course, they just grabbed that message too, because they had that. And so then they were able to reset the password. And then of course, the crooks are really smart. They went in and took the phone number out of the account at that point, so you couldn't use the phone number anymore to reset your password. So when the legitimate person went in there to try to reset the password, they were screwed. So there's a backup code. You should get that and store it in your password manager. We store ours in LastPass. So if we get hacked and we lose the authenticator app or whatever, even if you reset the password, there's a backup code that will always get you into the account, but you have to keep that code safe. And so it needs to be stored in some encrypted vault, which is what LastPass does.
Yeah, well, I could see, Don understands all that stuff. He does administration for the company he works for, right. And he's had to help several people set up the
two-factor authentication.
Well, the authenticator app. It's really, we all have our phone as an authentication two-factor, but the actual having the authenticator app. I may let Don help me set it up this year. But Don says, somebody's got to really care about you. First off, they have to have your phone number.
Right.
And second off, they have to, the one that you use for all of your two-factor stuff, and then they have to really care about you. So they went after the SEC apparently and some other people. So this is people trying to make Twitter look bad. This is because this could happen with any login anywhere, but they chose to go after Twitter. My opinion after 5 minutes of listening about this now is that somebody wanted to make Twitter look bad, to hurt Twitter, to make Twitter seem not secure, when the truth in the matter is they could have gone after anything that has two-factor of this person's, but yet they chose Twitter. Right. So, that's frustrating. Yeah,
well, the phone, having the phone as a second factor is better than nothing. But the text message, the SMS message system was designed long before anybody ever knew anything about two-factor authentication. It was designed for expedient delivery of text messages by the phone company because they didn't want to do any more than they had to get it to work. So it never was designed to be that secure. You know, WhatsApp and all these other things are much more secure. But right now, the good old-fashioned SMS text message stuff is what's used, and it's got holes in it. And people, it's been around so long, people know where the holes are.
Last thing, one of our friends is traveling. She lives in Colorado, but she's was yesterday at Reagan International Airport in Washington, D.C.
Right.
She had a reservation for a Hertz car. I have a feeling it wasn't a Tesla, but she at this point she would have taken a Tesla. Don't know what she had reserved, but they had hundreds of people waiting at Reagan yesterday that had reservations for rental cars, and Hertz didn't have any cars for them. And she tweeted Hertz, and Hertz actually tweeted her back and basically said, yeah, sometimes people don't return cars, and therefore cars we think we're going to have, we don't have. My conspiracy theory is because they're selling off a bunch of their EV fleet. Because I certainly noticed last week in Cary that there were or in Apex, that there were nowhere near as many rentals available as normal in that lot over there. You know, the lot is ebbs and flows of lots of cars and not a lot of cars. But if lots all over the country were like that because they were selling some off and they hadn't taken new deliveries yet, then I can certainly see where in certain spots they wouldn't have had enough, potentially wouldn't have had enough cars. So that's my conspiracy theory about why she waited. It hurts his own darn fault, and I'm not feeling I'm sorry for my friend, but I'm not feeling too sorry for the backlash on Hertz.
Right. Well, it's apparently they culled the fleet a little bit and pulled out they possibly have pulled out the electric cars, but they haven't gotten the new replacements for the ICE cars. So therefore, their inventory of cars, and they could probably hiccup a little bit in the management of that, and it could lead to shortages. And so anyway, it is what it is.
But yeah, there was a little hiccup with Hertz yesterday too. Hi, because I'm waiting on you, Mom. I'm waiting. We're headed up to South Park. It's 9:10. Don's on his 9 a.m. conference call. No weight vest today, on purpose. He can even do it while he's on his conference call. I like this where he gets up halfway and then he flips without even thinking about it to the other side. He's gonna turn. Turn, baby, turn. Oh, a little slower than normal today. I'm on my way to the chiropractor. I do not have autopilot. Every once in a while, Ruby's popping up a screen to let me know that she's cold. It's the mechanism I'm used to in the Model X, although not shown that energy meter all the time because of the full self-driving visualization that I have turned on. I am on time for 10:51. Woohoo! They've changed the on-off process over here at 5:40, getting ready for the road to, the new part of the road to open up, because here's where it ends. Ends and begins. So I was over there on the right on the other side of the guardrail and the cement before. I don't know how it's going to stay in the end, but for right now they've rerouted us a little bit because they're working on it, well, not stopping here. Well, it's nice to be walking in with 5 minutes to spare. I should try it more often. There's the slightest amount of light rain, but it does not look like it's going to rain and get the road wet, so hopefully not, because Ruby's still clean. You can see just a spit on the window. Well, it is what it is. Ruby's a bit wet. There's no good parking. There are, however, 4 Teslas, 3 bolts. So, I don't know. Today it looks like business as usual over here at Hertz. I think all the Teslas were 3s. They were either 3s or Ys. And here's the local couple with the Model X. And I believe I know from Triangle Tesla, they like to eat at the Italian restaurant, and they happen to do that regularly when I'm out here shopping, so I run into them often now. I bought this box and 2 rounded small pillowcases. Don has a pillow that shape and size. A top. 2 calendars, 50 cents a piece. The pillowcases were 50 cents a piece. And a piece of jewelry for Michelle, which is jade or jade simulated with some Japanese, Chinese characters on it. And a couple of pair of what I think are Haliashi earrings. And that's what I got today. There were no Legos, no Corel, no collectibles, no little wooden houses, Victorian houses. It was, you know, just a couple things today. Something going on. It's sprinkling again. Not bad, but, you know, a little. I guess I was hoping I'd get home and it would still be dry today, and then, you know, if it was pouring Thursday, I would take Jules and Ruby would stay clean. Or so I thought. Is this a C40? Maybe. Yep. I stopped in at Harris Teeter to pick up a couple chickens and to see if the Zevia soda was on sale, and bunches of organic green onions are cheaper here. You know, just a little bit of stuff, and I'm ready to be done shopping for the day. I really am. I swear I almost got run over 3 times in the store. Excuse me doesn't mean I get to keep on moving and you'd better get out of my way before I hit you. It's supposed to mean I need to get past you. Would you mind moving over? And then after I've moved, you get to go past me. People are confused about what excuse me means. And then the self-checkout. Every single time here I have trouble with it, and it was trying to accuse me of not ringing up one of my 2 chickens today, which was was ludicrous. Anyway, I never have trouble with the self-checkout at Walmart, and I always have trouble with the self-checkout here. It's not as cold, but dang if it doesn't seem like winter.
Yeah, I agree. Damn.
I don't think Ruby's filthy.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
I wasn't happy.
I understand.
It's a good thing that Gray is so good at helping me not be stressed, because I'm trying to renew my driver's license. I knew this was going to be a problem, and it won't let me renew it online, even though I think I'm eligible, which means I have to go in and to the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, and none of the local Fuquay, Garner, Raleigh, Cary, Irwin's just a little south of us, Clayton's a little east of us, Smithfield, Sanford, Durham. None of these are taking or making appointments. So literally the closest office I could make an appointment at is over 50 miles away. So, I mean, there are no good choices. There just aren't any good choices. So, I don't know. I guess I'm going to try to come back in once a week or check in the middle of the night, or I don't know. I hear if you show up without an appointment, you literally wait 5 hours, and then if they don't see you before the end of the day, they just send you away. And they do that after 12, but all the appointments are in the morning. I mean, I don't mind driving 25, 30, 35 miles. I'd probably prefer not to go to Fuquay. It's like the worst DMV for license renewal in the state. But I don't want to drive 50 miles either. And then probably still wait. So, it's even worse than I thought. It's around 5. Don's still working. I'm going to do bag 3, which puts on a couple coaster pieces. It's stuff over in here that raises this up. I am loving my sleeping helper. And these supports are so cool. I think I'm done through bag 5. There's a few more miscellaneous parts over in here, and probably Snap-on build some more of these, I think, and snap on some coaster pieces before I start building the tower. So anyway, I'm not trying to make it last forever, and I'm not trying to build it in a day either. I did like a bag and a half tonight, and felt really good, and you can really see a little bit more perspective on how it's going to work. I added the white fencing back in here once I saw that it was going to fit just fine. And yeah, did, you know, these flat tiles over here and these support structures tonight. But there's, you know, more to grow up here especially.